Hello, you are on the channel where I am making a large website for musicians. Today is very short video which I hope you will not need, because you know everything and use it. And if you still not use it, start implementing it urgently. Here I have to remind you that the Russians are doing everything to destroy me and everyone who I know and love. I cannot remain silent, so please help Ukraine as much as you can. It is very useful if you write a letter to your politicians asking for support Ukraine. Thank you. Go back to the video. I'm talking about code stylers, formatters, static code analyzers. Nothing else will make your code so much better in some little time. Implement it, set to pre-commit hook, and please stop checking code style on the review. Here I want to share my own experience because my butt hurt. During my career I very often worked on projects where there was no style code at all. Normally it existed in the form of links what developers sent to each other, and in the form of accusation against each other in the code review comments. And I know I'm not the only one who noticed this. There was even a case when a developer was added to the team. According to the CV and feedbacks, the genius of development with a bunch of awards. And here he is standing in the front of the team, all in the medals, with the title of CTO, and says, "You will review each other's. It is wasting of time. Cancel it. It's enough to count the indents in spaces and watch for brick lines." So, no matter who you are, a student, senior, trainee, or CTO, please set up automatic code analyzers immediately and stop a review code style. And don't waste your life thinking about do you need a brick line before a bracket. For a project from scratch, the setup takes a couple of hours at most. For the project with code base, this is relative, but it's usually enough to allocate one developer for a couple of weekends between sprints. And of course with a command warning. But this is a management problem. There are many ready-made solutions. It is PHP Code Sniffer, Psalm, or PHP Mess Detector. But I advise you to pay attention to PHP Insights package. This solution is a combination of static code analyzers and linter, with an additional bonus in the form of analysis of dependency vulnerabilities and a metric for cyclomatic complexity of the code. I will make a separated video about the complexity. Most likely this will be the next video. And now I will very quickly configure PHP Insights to work with Laravel 11. First I install the package in the development dependency. You have to remember everything that parses the code, install in dev dependency. Then one more command which just copy the config file to our project, and installation is successful. Now I can run the command inside Docker, of course, PHP Artisan Insights, and I can see all problem of the project according to the standard settings of Insight for Laravel, of course. Next I immediately run the same command but with fix option. It will fix all style code issues that can be fixed without affecting to functionality, and I have to fix several files by myself. So I write the command again and look at each problem individually. First what I see, Horizon service provider have a boot function with only parent bot function and nothing else, just comments. This is a good rule. It will reduce the size of the code on the review. So I simply remove a bot function. Next rule, disallow empty function. In my mind this is a bad rule. It hints that Laravel should not use empty but should use has function from collections. But developing it's not just about Laravel, and I don't want everything wrapped into collection. So I go to config insights, remove section, and add disallow empty snip plus name. Next rule, disallow short ternary operator. It's useful to use null coalescing operator, 2 questions mark. So simple replace short ternary operator to 2 questions mark. And I got 2 files with unused variables. In console kernel I will definitely use this variable when set up first scheduler process, and exception handler where I can add global report function I will probably use. So I'm adding these 2 files as exception to the rule. Go to config file, config section, unused parameters snip plus name as array k and array with exception, and pass to those 2 files. When I was editing the video I thought it would be better to disable the rule for the line, but okay. And the last one, code style rule, max line length 80 symbols. It is a little short, so I go to documentation, copy config settings for the rule, and increase line limit to 100, absolute line limit to 120, and allow ignore comment. It can be useful. Run check commands again, and all good, all green, 100% of code, 87 complexity, 100% architecture, and 100% style. All cool. You can find this configuration at the link in the description. And we move on. Go to requirements sections, uncommit all, and set min quality, min architecture, and min style always to 100. It makes no practical sense to give leeway to violation some rules. Much more better customize rules for your team. And do not lower the complexity below 80. You will notice that bad code affects this indicator and bad smelling scripts will be highlighted by PHP Insights. If you do not meet these metrics, the Insights command will return no zero code. That will fail a pre-commit or CI pipeline. And the last one, you should never turn off security check. Insight automatically scans your dependency and checks against database knowledge vulnerabilities. This check will not pass if any of your dependency from composer log JSON are in this database. And it's extremely cool. You can make VIP commit and wait until community will fix this issue. It is usually a very quick 2 hours, maximum 10 hours in my practice. Or of course you can help solve this problem by making a merge request. Yes, this is the check that I promised to implement when talking about GitLab security scanning. One of the check. And another small bonus of Insights is the user-friendly display of analysis result. Of course, it's not necessary, but sometimes it's useful to show green squares with 100% to the customer. It saves a lot in outsourcing. But move on. No one will run this command manually, so I add it to pre-commit hook. Husky make new file pre-commit, docker exec container name, bh app in my case, PHP artisan insights fix and no interaction. It is important so the checks did not expect any action from developer. And for the next command I have to show a small demo. Go to the app http controllers controller. It is promoted as feature on Laravel 11, but please do not extend it. It is bad practice. But for demonstration I will create a test function with totally broken code style. Git add this file to indexing and make some test commit. As you can see, commit is successful and the code style was fixed, but commit located a version of file before fixing. This is very useless. This should be followed by the developer or cancel the commit, but I will just add the command which add all the files that were already in the indexes to the index again, but after fixed code style. So I demonstrate this example again, make commit, and as you can see the entire file with editing go to the commit. And of course I need to turn this check on the server as CI script job. So I create GitLab CI YAML file, one stage test, default container and services. I talked about this in previous videos. One job name Insights in test stage, copy environment file, very simple, enter UID and group ID and make Docker login. But I have to go back to Slow project, go to settings, CI/CD, token access, turn off limit access to this project and use button add group or project, add back subgroup. Yes, this is exactly why I make subgroups in video about infrastructure. But go back to CI script, run docker compose up just app service with settings no depths. This will allow to run only one service without dependencies. In our case it's Redis and database, but in the future there could be something really heavy. For example, Elasticsearch. Next, install composer dependency with no script option. We should not publish anything here. And the main script, PHP artisan insights, no interaction. So I make commit, push it to GitLab, wait some time, and all good, pipeline is green. To be sure, I create a bad VIP commit with broken code style, push, and I got an error. All works fine as expected. It's cool, but I have to say about problems with PHP Insights. First, it is not scan test directories. This is a big problem. There are usually more tests than code, but in the future video I will make a fork from this lib and fix this issue. The next problem, the IDEA do not work with these packages. It is unpleasant, but it is not felt at all when pre-commit is configured. And finally, in the last 2 years the package has not developed. The owner is very well known in the Laravel community and actively develops the other packages, but not this one. So there may be a problem with support. And I forgot to say, be prepared that for the first 6 months you will be customizing the rules for yourself and your team. That's all. Support Ukraine and thank you.